So I think we are ready. Misha, you are ready too?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, perfect. So I will start my part. So welcome to our Tech Talk. We are very pleased that we have so many interested participants today. I would like to give you a short overview of our today's Tech Talk. First, our CEO, Hans-Peter Himmel, will open the event before we hand it over to Misha with his presentation. If you have any questions during the presentation, you can use the bottom question and answers at the top of the screen. At the end, Misha will answer the questions. The participants are muted. If somebody of you would say something, please raise the hand and I will unmute you. The recording, their session will be recorded. Afterwards, you can view the recording and the presentation on our website. If you have further questions after the Tech Talk, you can contact Misha directly. Herefore, he will publish the contact details. Now I will hand over to Hans-Peter Himmel. Enjoy our Tech Talk.
And thank you very much, Ricardo. I'm also pleased to present today this Tech Talk because Boston is able today to conduct the first English language Tech Talk with Misha Ovoshnikov today. Also, the partner today is able to present a large number of English-speaking specialists in its pool. It was therefore obvious for us to hold an English language Tech Talk. Even with the current division of the Boston Partner website, Actual, English will for us become the leading language and German will be offered as a second one. Today, it is the other way around. But that is how internationalization is progressing in Switzerland. You can find it good or bad. It's a fact that no company can ignore. Now, Misha will report us today a topic that Boston Partner is often allowed to support our customers with when introducing new products in a highly complex environment. Misha has been working as a product manager and product owner in the banking environment for over 10 years. With his strong mathematics and management skills, especially in an agile environment, he is able to launch quickly products and make them marketable. I am now very excited to hear from Misha what are the success factors in launching new products in the financial service environment. Dear Misha, you have the virtual floor now. Thank you.
Thank you, Hans-Peter. Thank you everyone for joining this Tech Talk. So first of all, let me maybe add a couple of words to what just has been said about myself. So yes, for over 10 years, I'm in charge of developing new products. In the last 6 years, I'm here in Switzerland, working in Sberbank Switzerland. So it's part of the biggest, one of the biggest banking group in Europe, which was belonging to biggest Russian bank, and now it's sold to independent Swiss entrepreneur based in Geneva. So the bank will be rebranded soon. So I'm sure if you're following media, you've seen some news about this process, about the selling of the bank. And yes, the bank was established over 30 years ago in Switzerland, and only in 2011 it was sold to Sberbank, and then we really created here the full product shelf for 3 main business lines. It's global markets, it's commodity trade finance, and corporate banking solutions. So my role was to launch, to lead the working group, to create business cases for the product, to facilitate collaboration between banking divisions and between different external parties, and as the result, really to design and to implement different changes. Also, I was part of some automatization initiatives, like, for example, implementation of Avalog in the bank, Yes, and as a result of all these tasks, kind of the bank was really created almost from scratch with broad range of services for corporate clients. And speaking about kind of products, so I hope that you all see the presentation now. I will make it kind of full screen, so it's bigger a little bit. Okay, so today I will focus on the implementation of new financial products and fast-paced and complex business. It could be banking, it could be asset management, or insurance companies. The kind of process will be more or less the same, with some, of course, specific. So I'll first introduce the problem, then a little bit explain the solution, the proposal, how it could work. Yes, and of course, make some kind of points about the benefits of this solution. So, I mean, many of you know the financial markets very well. You can imagine this really, it's fast-paced, it's complex business when the revenue opportunities appearing quite quickly, and usually banks don't have too much time to implement the product. Yes, and on the other side, the bank shall really be structured and adhere to some appropriate front-to-back controls. So the bank cannot really launch the product without having proper structure and proper controls. Yeah. And I'm using banks as an example, but as mentioned, it could be like broker, asset manager, or other type of financial institution. So, and the process to
Misha,
yes.
sorry, I have a question. I think the people don't see the presentation yet. I can see it, but probably you can try if you...
I see it as well. But
okay.
Yeah, looks like I see now the slide number 3, but unfortunately, if someone don't see, maybe we can just share it afterwards, or you can try to share from your screen if you want.
Yes, I think it's not everybody. So some of people can see it, some of the people not. I think we will we go on. That's okay. We will share it definitely on the website later on. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Probably I will a little bit explain more about the kind of
perfect
pictures which some people don't see. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Today, usually the business unit kind of requests some product. Yes, and then like special admin unit, or it could be new product unit, or just product unit, somehow navigates this product through different areas, through business, legal, operations, IT, risk, finance, compliance, like tax, treasury. I mean, you name it, there are many. Yes, and for all these people, it's something new, and usually they have lack of expertise in this process. So as a result, the process is quite like unorganized very often, quite time consuming, and really it's like one by one. So you approach one unit, then another unit, the third unit. Yes, and as a result, some product structured, but it's really slow to market, and this is something not very reliable to kind of today's requirements. Yeah, as kind of possible solutions, yeah, proposal is to have so-called new product working group, which includes managers from different support and business departments who really have very clear role and very clear responsibility for development and implementation of new product. So this approach could be visualized as this kind of simple picture when the working group is on the middle and all other functions kind of around this working group, and all functions, they contribute their people, they kind of delegate their people to this working group. So working group consists of representatives from operations, from legal, from risk, from finance, from business, from IT, like tax, treasury, back office, middle office, again, depending on the topic. Yes, it could be different representation. As kind of speaking about accountability, this working group really collectively accountable for the result, for the delivery of product. The beauty of such setup that this working group is really cross department partnership, which interacting closely with the business and with which leveraging kind of technical expertise of each other. This group is really flexible, efficient, and in practice works very, very well. So maybe just to add a couple of words to what just been said here. In practice, of course, there should be some leader of the working group. It could be COO of organization, or it could be kind of dedicated person assigned to lead this group. Yes, but this person is accountable together with other working group members. Yeah, otherwise we just go back to the situation when one person kind of bottleneck and one person is in charge. It doesn't work. I mean, the working group should be in charge, and the working group should work as one kind of cross department partnership. Important thing is to have the clear definition of what is new product. And again, this is very highly dependent on the sphere. Of course, the firm, the bank or other financial firm should have the matrix of products which are already approved. And this approach is quite similar and quite close to project management approach, rather than like documentary when you have document and just each function contributes a part of this document. And phases in this approach is again quite similar to standard project management, like initiation, then development, implementation, approval, and then so-called post-implementation. The benefits of such structure: this is for sure more robust and controlled, and it utilizes the expertise of different functions. This creates the transparency on bottlenecks. It's faster time to market, and at the end, it gives really opportunity to have more revenue. I would also mention that this working group regularly kind of provide the status, and so it's clear oversight of the book of work, of bottlenecks, of accountability, and so on and so on. And it's dedicated resources of the department. So if head of, let's say, tax team knows that the member of the team participates in the working group, yes, then he or she needs to dedicate some part of working time of this member to cover new initiatives. So this is about the benefits, and I would really have more live discussion with you, maybe to answer questions. So that's why I try to keep it short. Maybe I can add a few examples, but really following what specifically you are interested, rather than just go slide by slide. So thank you for your attention. My contact details are here. You can find me in LinkedIn as well. So open now for your questions.
Thank you, Misha, for the presentation now. So we have some questions, definitely, probably. Let me check. I can ask you something that you can explain more about. So Misha, you are mentioning new products in your slides, but how can you formally define a new product or a product modification in the bank?
Mm-hmm. It's very, very good question and very important question. So, I mean, naturally, new products is something which has not been offered before. Yes, so it's something which not has been conducted kind of previously. It could be, for example, new type of instrument for the client. You do, let's say, currency options, and you decide as the bank to do commodity options with the client. For sure, it will be new. product. It could be existing product, but in a new market, in a new country, which has some jurisdictional specifics or jurisdictional issues. It could be membership on the exchange or connection with the new exchange. And the difference between product and modification, I would say, is the size of the change. Yeah, I would even split into 3 big parts. The first big part is new field of business. Let's say that the bank decides to provide, I don't know, precious metals accounts for clients. It will be really big field of business because the bank needs to establish some custody, some partnership, some storage, accounting, and so on and so on. So it will be really new field of business. It's fundamental change in the bank. The second one, a little bit smaller, is the new product itself. Let's say within this precious metals business line, the bank decides to do some I don't know, lending, precious metals lending. Yeah, it will be new business, new product within the approved field of business. And the third level is variation or modification, which is rather kind of smaller and which of course has already some pieces, some similarity with existing product, but however still has some specific. Let's say that the bank has some currencies, yes, and just adding some additional currencies, yes, or the bank trading FX options and at some point decides to start trading FX options with barrier, yeah. So it will be the variation or modification. And of course, depending on the size of the change, depending on the kind of systems, processes affected, the bank that decides what level of approval is needed. And for new field, new business, it could be even the approval of external audit or regulator, the FINMA. And for the smaller change, for modification or variation, it could be some really small level committee or working group. So it's up to each bank to define really what is the level of approvals. So I hope that it answers the question.
Thank you, Misha. Yes, for the answer. I have another question. Probably you can say more about who is assessing and defining what constitutes a new product and what it is not.
Look, I mentioned the new products working group, which consists of representatives from each department. And of course, those departments, they need to set up some rules. Yes, what constitutes a new product, what is existing product, which doesn't need to come through all these levels of approvals. So at the end, new product group is responsible for defining what constitutes a new product and responsible for defining the level, modification or variation or even a new field of business. In big banks, it could be in addition some kind of higher level, some like managing committee or executive committee. But again, there is no unique solution. I think that people on the ground, they really can make the judgment, the working group itself, but sometimes it could be additional levels. So this is the answer.
Okay, thank you from my side. Would you mind to mentioning 5 phases and more in detail?
You mean 5 phases? Probably I mentioned in the presentation already. Yeah.
So, yes. So probably be a little bit more in detail. What's about each one?
I will open the kind of slide with the 5 phases. Okay. So the first one is initiation. Usually the head of business line comes with some proposal, like let's do FX options, let's do, I don't know, precious metals, let's do some limited recourse prepayment financing. And the working group really defines what is the size of this change. Is it like big, small, medium? And then together with business, the prioritization should be also defined. Yes, it goes now, it goes like next year, or it's already should be implemented yesterday, as we quite often hear from business. Then the next one is development. So during development, there should be some cost benefit analysis. There should be some project plan created, some additional kind of implementation documentation to really to understand what exactly we do. And then during the implementation phase, the development kind of started. So it could be some IT development, some new systems, or changing in the existing systems. Also, some additional documentation should be created. The status should be regularly kind of monitored. So this phase includes, of course, the monitoring. Then during the phase, we also have some kind of UAT, some testing, some then next approvals. So each head of department or unit which is involved should provide the proper sign-off, because as I mentioned, really these people, members of the working group, and of course the working group should sign off that yes, the bank can support this product legally, compliance-wise, finance-wise, from the tax perspective, from the treasury perspective, from front office like booking, middle office, IT, and so on and so on. So this includes kind of approval phase. And there could be some trainings as well, because if the bank implementing something new, then people should be ready to support it, should be trained, should learn this new functionality. Yes, and then we have, of course, the post-implementation after 3 months or after six months, again, depending on specific situation, the bank looking what has been done, how it works, any operational incident, is the benefits of the product the same as being declared, and so on and so on and so on. So this is very similar to classic kind of project management phases, and quite important really to go one by one to make sure that all pieces of the product kind of correctly completed. Yes, and the bank really is safe supporting this product, moving on with this product. So that's it about 5 phases.
Thank you, Misha. I don't know if there is somebody who has another question. I think not yet for the moment. If there's somebody who would like to say something, you can also raise the hand so I can unmute you. But I think we answered the question yet. That's good. Have you something else? What would you like to?
I think that the presentation was really covering kind of the implementation, and that the participants have not so many questions. I will just add that you see now that in the media that this bank, I don't know, did the tokenization of painting, another bank starts trading cryptocurrencies, one more bank providing the custody service for Bitcoin. So all this, of course, can be considered and can be developed as a new product in the bank. Yes, and this process of the working group creation and the working group accountable and responsible for the delivery, it's very effective. Of course, it's not like flawless, and there are some issues during this journey. But at the end, the working group with proper responsibility and with proper reporting is very effective. So it's much more effective than just one person in charge of everything. And if you have any questions, if you may be interested in some specific examples, feel free to approach me. And thank you very much for your time, for listening. The presentation, as already mentioned by Ricardo, will be published. And yeah, feel free to approach me.
Thank you, Misha. Yes, I think it's often that people has questions later on, so they can contact you directly. That's perfect. I would like to thank you all for joining us today. A special thanks to you, Misha, for your presentation. It's very an interesting topic in our fast changing world. And yes, thank you very much for the time. And I wish you a good afternoon.
Yeah, you too, and to all participants as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.